There is a kind of wisdom that does not belong to any single century. It does not retire, it does not go out of fashion, and it does not care whether you are ready to hear it or not. It simply waits for the day you are broken enough or brave enough to actually listen. Today, we are going to walk through that wisdom, line by line, truth by truth. Stay until the end, because somewhere in these words is the exact sentence your life has been waiting to hear. If you cannot fly, then run. If running is too much, then walk. And if even walking has become impossible, then crawl. But never, under any circumstance, allow yourself to stand still. Stillness is the only true defeat. Every successful person you admire today was, at some point, simply the last person standing. Not because they were the strongest, but because they refused to stop moving, even at the slowest possible pace. Now understand something most people never learn. Every creature on this earth is caught by something different. A lion is drawn by meat. A dog is drawn by a bone. A rat surrenders to cheese, and a monkey reaches for a banana without thinking twice. But a man is caught by a woman. And a woman, more often than people are willing to admit, is caught by comfort, status, or money. This is not cynicism. This is simply how temptation operates, and the person who understands the bait can never again be fooled by it. This brings us to a truth that protects more hearts than any motivational quote ever could. Never give a second chance to someone who has already shown you who they are. A cheater does not stop cheating because you forgave them once. They simply learn to hide it better. A clean, honest rejection will hurt you for one single day. But false hope, the kind dressed up in apologies and promises, will quietly break a small piece of you every single morning until there is nothing left to break. Keep your eyes open. Always. Because the moment you stop seeing the truth for yourself, someone else will happily start deciding it for you. And let this sink in deeply. The greatest tragedy in human history was never the cruelty of evil people. It was the silence of good people who watched it happen and said nothing. Silence, when it should have been a voice, is its own form of betrayal. Here is something uncomfortable but true. The world does not respect your humility. It respects your wallet. People will tolerate your silence, your simplicity, your low profile, but only because they already know what you are capable of. The moment they sense weakness instead of restraint, that respect disappears. So understand this law of life early. If you want anything from this world, you must first be willing to give something of value to it. That single principle is the foundation of every form of real intelligence. Do the difficult things while they are still small and manageable. Do the great things while they are still in their early, simple stages. No one ever runs 1,000 miles in a single leap. They take one step, and then they take another, and somewhere in that repetition, distance turns into destiny. Learn to forgive the way you wish to be forgiven. Hold on to humility the way the wisest among us do, by admitting that true wisdom begins the moment you realize how little you actually know. Two things alone will determine the entire direction of your future: the books that occupy your mind, and the people who occupy your time. Choose both with extreme care, because both are silently writing the story of who you will become. If you are too kind, the world will use that kindness against you. So learn from the birds. They sing their song without asking permission, without seeking approval, without caring who is listening with judgment in their heart. You only grow when you stand next to someone better than you. So if you are the most capable person in every room you enter, that is not a compliment, that is a warning sign. Leave that room. Find a harder one. To get what you have never had, you must be willing to do what you have never done. There is a brutal honesty in how the world treats theft. Steal a small amount, and you are called a criminal. Steal a fortune, and somehow you are called clever. Be careful of this twisted logic, and be even more careful of false knowledge dressed up as confidence. False knowledge is far more dangerous than simple ignorance, because ignorance knows it doesn't know, while false knowledge is certain it does. Real peace was never outside of you. It was always behind a door inside your own mind, a door most people never bother to knock on. A small moment of impatience has the power to destroy years of careful planning. So guard your patience the way you would guard your most valuable possession. A genuine smile, freely given, has the power to add years back into a tired life. A wise person makes their own decisions and lives with the consequences. A foolish person borrows decisions from others and blames them for the outcome. Anger creates nothing. It only burns down what patience had carefully built. And life has a strange but consistent way of punishing three types of people. The angry person loses sound judgment, the liar loses respect, and the one who always rushes loses the success they were chasing. Learn from yesterday's mistakes, so tomorrow does not have to repeat them. One comfortable night does not mean your struggles are over. And notice this: trouble visits most often the doors of those who never stop talking, because words spoken carelessly always find their way back. Protect yourself from the people closest to you, the ones who call themselves friends but cannot keep your trust. Your enemies you can handle on your own. It is the people inside your circle who require real wisdom to manage. And never hand your secrets to a friend, because a secret shared is a secret already halfway to being told to someone else. Remember this the next time life feels unfair. When your season is good, even your mistakes are laughed off as charm. But when your season turns difficult, even your jokes are picked apart as flaws. No human being is purely good or purely bad. Every person is simply responding to the conditions life has placed in front of them at that exact moment. A degree is paper. Your character is the only certificate the world actually reads. Do not fear failure. Fear the smallness of never having tried at all. Setting small, timid goals is its own quiet tragedy. Even losing while chasing something enormous carries more honor than winning something small and safe. Never copy another person's path. Build your own identity, deliberately and unapologetically, because imitation always expires, but originality compounds. Speak with purpose, not with length, because the moment your words overstay their welcome, they lose their power. The person who trusts no one blindly is also the person who is rarely betrayed. Darkness has never once been removed by more darkness. Only light has ever accomplished that. Hatred has never once canceled out hatred. Only love has ever done that work. Respect the people who can still find a reason to smile while carrying real hardship, because that is not weakness, that is the highest form of strength. True beauty was never about the face. It lives in the willingness of a hand to reach out and help, even when that hand has nothing else to offer. Often, the brightest minds in any room are the quiet ones sitting in the back, simply because greatness rarely needs to announce itself. A person built on solid ground does not tremble at praise, and does not collapse under blame. Both are just weather, and the mountain remains the mountain regardless of the storm. Be extremely careful who you choose to follow blindly, because two people without direction, walking together, will still end up in the same ditch. Confidence is built on education. Hope is built on confidence. And peace, real peace, is born only from hope. Everyone wants a long life, yet very few are willing to prepare for the version of themselves that old age eventually reveals. If you want to understand where your life is heading, study carefully where it has already been. Your character today was shaped entirely by what made you happy yesterday. Surround yourself less with negativity and more with people who add something to your spirit instead of subtracting from it. No human being is born cruel. Cruelty is something we are slowly trained into by the bad habits we allow to take root. If you want to raise strong children, do not shield them from every hardship. Let them learn early how to endure both hunger and discomfort, because comfort builds nothing. A single moment of restraint in the middle of anger can save you from 100 days of regret. The person who asks a question may look foolish for 5 minutes, but the person too proud to ask remains foolish for the rest of their life. Be mindful of who you spend your time around, because their habits, their sicknesses, their mindset, all of it is contagious, whether you notice it happening or not. Listening, done properly, is just as powerful as speaking, done properly. A little impatience, left unchecked, is enough to dismantle the biggest dreams you have ever built. Be gentle with the people around you, because every single one of them is fighting a battle you cannot see. The person who has learned to teach themselves will never again accept a lesser teacher. And here is a closing piece of wisdom worth carrying with you long after this video ends. Do not live buried in yesterday, and do not live lost in tomorrow. The only place your life is actually happening is right now, in this exact moment. Life is not complicated, we simply insist on making it that way. In youth, we collect lessons. In age, we finally understand what those lessons meant. Let your life grow the way a wildflower grows, without permission, without comparison, simply blooming wherever it happens to be planted. As the years pass, you will notice strange and quiet truths revealing themselves one by one. That memory fades before ambition does. That comfort fades before courage does. That life itself is simply a long series of lessons, repeating themselves patiently until you are finally ready to learn them. For the wise, life unfolds like a dream. For the careless, it plays out like a game. For the wealthy, it often becomes a comedy. And for those who never had the chance to choose, it remains quietly a tragedy. So choose, today, which version of that life you intend to live. Because the wisdom has been spoken. What happens next is entirely up to you.